Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to one more installment of the Dimas Wine Shop and Tasting Room video for the week of Easterfest. And we've got another great lineup that's going to go with all of your meals throughout the weekend, starting with Good Friday. And then we'll have a few announcements. But I do want to talk about this Greco de Tufo. This is made by Diantish Terre. And it is Greco de Tufo is the grape, and it comes from Campania. Now, Campania, for any of you that have been to Naples, is just down below Rome. And talk about a great wine that has got it's got some apricot, some peach, and then it's got a little bit of bitter almond to the finish. And it's all done in stainless steel. It's got nice, good, bright acidity, but a nice round mouth. And talk about an amazing wine that's going to go with fish. And next up is the Chateau de Suers. This is the 2013. This is a Bordeaux rosé, so it's primarily Merlot, but it does have Cabernet Sauvignon in it. And it's real reminiscent of crushed raspberries, strawberries with a little bit of a touch of watermelon. What I especially like about this wine, of course, with most rosés is the acidity. So talk about going really well with ham dishes, it's some sort of a casserole. It's going to go really, really well with that. So another great food wine for Easter. And next up is a wine that comes from a little vineyard called the Fratichams Vineyard in Anderson Valley. It's a 1-acre parcel, and this is put out by De Novo, is the house that puts it out, and it's 100% Pinot Noir. This is their 2014 effort, fermented and aged in oak for 12 months on French oak. And what I especially like about this wine, once again, I think it does have a good level of acidity, which makes it a good food wine, but it's also, because it's silky and it's reminiscent of like real light cherries and spice, it would go great not only with dishes, but I would also be serving it like maybe in the front if you're going to be, when guests first arrive, and if you wanted to do this with cheese, or if you just wanted to watch the kids hunt their Easter eggs. This is a great way to get started in the morning. I know I'm going to. And from the foothills of the Pyrenees Mountains in the Basque Country on the French side, we have got this beautiful Grenache called Titu. And you'll notice it's got a donkey in the front. And what I think is interesting, I was reading up on this wine to find out why that donkey was there. And what they are trying to, the message that they're trying to give you is how stubborn these Grenache vines are. These Grenache vines have been around, they're growing on shale, 60 years, no water, all dry farmed, and they continue to survive after 60 years. And they just continue to produce small amounts of fruit. We're talking about less than 2 acres, less than 2 tons per acre, but really good, high quality fruit. Earthy, spicy, good amounts of licorice. If you're going to be doing lamb, if you're going to be doing paella, some people have said that they wanted to do paella. People have asked me for a recipe for coming up for Easter, so this would be a great dish to do with that. All right, and next on the list comes to us from Argentina in the south of Mendoza. This is the La Sparrow 2010. This is their Malbec, and this comes from a vineyard called the Funkenhausen. I know it sounds what it sounds like. It's the Funkenhausen Vineyards in South Mendoza, and they've been doing some great Malbec. 100% Malbec, all French oak, big bold wine, but it is tart. It's got a good level of tartness, which once again I think just makes it great to go with food. So I would definitely be picking up a couple of bottles, especially if you're going to be doing lamb. You can't go wrong with this. But as in good Malbec, and especially from Mendoza, which Argentina always tends to take a certain nose of its own, there's definitely, these real earthy notes to it. Earthy, and then there's what I call kind of like little barnyardiness to it, and I think that is very classic of a South Mendoza style or a Mendoza style Malbec. And last but not least, we're going to finish up the tasting this week with a Cabernet Sauvignon that's put out by Andranicus. This comes out of Napa Valley, predominantly Cabernet Sauvignon, but it does have some Merlot to it. This comes out of the Titus Vineyard Estates, as where the majority of the fruit comes from, but this is an effort by 3 brothers, by the 3 Titus brothers, and all 3 of them have got vineyards that are all sourced together to make this wine, and the majority of, like I said, comes from the Titus Vineyard Estate. It is done 20 months on oak, of which 25% is a new blend of French, Hungarian, and American oak. Big, nice notes of vanilla, oak, chocolate flavor, and then of course cassis, which I think is important when you're tasting Cabernet Sauvignon. And we've got, oh, I should mention what I would probably be doing this with is I would be doing this with some sort of a red meat or some sort of a mushroom dish. If you're going to be doing a mushroom casserole, this would be perfect with it. And then let's talk about what's coming up. We got Tapas Tuesday. By the time you're seeing this video, on this coming Tuesday, I'll be doing dishes for these wines. And then we've got a beer tasting on April 3rd. Cooper's going to pick the beers, and that's on a Sunday, and we'll be doing some beer grub with it. And then last but not least, I should say not last but not least, but almost, Drew Stapp from Rabble Wine will be here on April 12th, which is a Tuesday, and then we'll be tasting all Rabble wines, which includes Force of Nature. We'll be doing those wines on that week. And then, last but not least, May 12th, Christina's working on solidifying the venue for our Calcareous dinner, but we'll have that, and we'll also be doing the food for that. So, look forward to seeing you all. Thank you for your continued patronage, and cheers, everyone.